Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to travel back in time to the groovy world of disco music, a genre that lit up dance floors, dominated the charts, and defined a generation. If you've ever wanted to know more about the music that got everyone dancing in the 70s, this video is for you. Let's dive in. So what exactly is disco? Disco music is a genre that emerged in the early 1970s, blending elements of funk, soul, pop, and even salsa. It's characterized by its upbeat tempo, steady four-on-the-floor beats, and lush orchestration, often featuring strings, horns, and electric bass. Disco is all about rhythm and groove, designed to get people moving on the dance floor. Whether you were in a club or listening at home, disco music had a way of making you feel good and want to dance. Disco didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It was born out of the social and cultural movements of the time. The early 70s was a period of change with the civil rights movement, LGBT rights, and a push for greater freedom and self-expression. The inclusive nature of disco made it a cultural phenomenon, bringing together people from all walks of life under the glittering lights of the dance floor. Now let's talk about some of the biggest names in disco. First up, we have Donna Summer, often referred to as the Queen of Disco. Her hits like Hot Stuff, A Last Dance, and I Feel Loves are iconic. Donna Summer's voice and the innovative production behind her music helped define the sound of disco. Another huge name is the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees were originally known for their softer rock ballads, but when they embraced disco, they became superstars. Their soundtrack for the movie Saturday Night Fever, which includes classics like Stayin' Alive and Night Fever, is synonymous with disco. We also can't forget Chicks, led by Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards. Chick gave us unforgettable tracks like LA Freaks and Good Times, which have become staples of the genre. Now let's break down the sound of disco. Disco music was driven by a steady, pulsating beat known as the four-on-the-floor, where the bass drum hits on every beat in a measure. This gave disco its irresistible danceable rhythm. The bass guitar played a key role, often delivering funky, syncopated lines that were as much a part of the melody as the vocals. Then you have the lush strings and horns that added a sense of grandeur and sophistication to the tracks. And of course, the synthesizer became increasingly important as the genre evolved, especially in the late 70s. Despite its massive popularity, disco wasn't without its critics. By the late 1970s, a backlash began to brew, with some people feeling that disco was too commercial, too repetitive, and too dominant in the music scene. This backlash culminated in events like the infamous Disco Demolition Night in 1979, where anti-disco sentiment exploded, literally. After this, disco's popularity quickly declined, and by the early 1980s, it had mostly faded from the mainstream. However, disco's influence didn't disappear. It evolved and found its way into other genres like house, pop, and electronic music. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, we saw a revival of disco sounds with artists like Daft Punk and the rise of new disco. And even today, you can hear echoes of disco in modern pop and dance music. Disco was more than just a genre. It was a movement that changed music, culture, and the way we experience the dance floor. So that's a quick dive into the world of disco music. It is a genre that made the world dance and left an indelible mark on music history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more music explorations. Let me know in the comments what your favorite disco song is, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.